Bad habits lead to, I don't know the words, I'm not Ed Sheeran, but today we're gonna talk about our interior design bad habits because we all have them and we need to fix them, and I'm gonna show you how. Bad habit number one is that you're probably hanging your pendant lights and your chandeliers too high. So when we are installing lighting, it is so stressful. It's like we only have one time to get this right, one time, because if we piss the electrician off, he is not coming back. Joe is not coming back, and we need Joe to stay because we don't know how to wire this. We're not trying to electrocute ourselves like Home Alone style. We are not trying to do that. A lot of the times people hang their pendants and their chandeliers too high. They are just too close to the ceiling. We are meant to enjoy that lighting. It is meant to illuminate the space. It is actually a part of your interior design. It is not an accessory that is just meant to go into the ceiling. Remember, our design goes upwards and it goes downwards, and it all needs to be cohesive. When you're hanging chandeliers or pendant lights above tables, I'm talking dining tables or islands, you actually want the bottom of that chandelier to be 30 to 36 inches above that tabletop. That really isn't that high. It's quite nested with the table. It's not 8 feet in the air away from it. They are quite nested. If you're hanging a chandelier in your bedroom or in your home, a lot of the times you want the bottom of the chandelier to be at 7 feet if you have a standard height ceiling. Your chandeliers are not, touching the ceiling. They're actually way lower than you would anticipate. The only time you wouldn't really follow these rules is if you have really, really tall ceilings or you have tall people in and out of your home regularly. Of course, if you're 7 feet tall, you're not going to have the base of your chandelier be at 7 feet tall unless you're on that Dobby energy. You don't want to hit yourself in the head with a light all the time. We don't want that. Please do not do that. But otherwise, these are standard rules that we want to do. We don't want to be afraid of hanging our lights at appropriate places. Your next bad design habit is that you are buying decor, you're buying decorative accents, but you're not taking them out of the bag. People always wait for finality. They said, when I have everything, I'm gonna put it up. When I have everything, that's when I'm gonna test this out. Well, how are you going to finish the room if you've not actually seen the pieces that you've bought to complement the space, right? I cannot tell you the number of times I've gone into a client space and they have bags and bags and bags of home goods items. And I'm like, are you opening up home goods here? Are you opening up your own store? Is this your own Target? Is Target expanding into your residence? This happens all the time. I've been there, you've been there. And then we don't actually ever open up these products. They kind of sit and wait. The way that you should design should actually be a little bit more fluid. Just because something wasn't in your design board doesn't mean you shouldn't introduce it into your home. You should introduce it and take those things out and test them. You might find a vase that you love and then you say to yourself, this is it. This is changing my entire design plan. But if you're leaving those things on the floor, you have no idea. Yes, have to stop being afraid of moving the design process along. Move it along. It will actually be a lot swifter if you'll actually get those items and take them out of the bag. We've talked about this one before, but another design habit you probably have is that you are floating a rug. Now, there are tons of rules on the internet about how big your rug should be for your living room and your dining room, whatever. And we know what those rules are, that's fine. And sometimes we cannot adhere to those rules because rugs are so expensive. But please do not float your rug. Your rug is not a flotation device. It is not something that we're bringing out for the summertime. We're not floating it. Your rug should not be just sitting in space with nothing touching it. The point of a rug is to anchor a space. You should never float your rug unless, again, it is a special art piece or you have such an oddly shaped space that they do not make rugs that can accommodate your room size. Rugs are meant to anchor furniture. They're meant to help divide rooms. They are considered floor art, but floor art that is scaled correctly. And if we can't scale it correctly, I say let's skip out on it all together. Now, this is one of my favorite bad habits because someone is watching this video saying, oh, Kiva, this does not apply to me. I am the best. And see, you've probably done this one, right? Because we're all human. You buy decor, you buy furniture, you decide you don't like it, and you do not return it. One of the main reasons why people struggle with interior design is because interior design is expensive. It is stupidly expensive. It is so expensive. It makes me want to curl up in a ball and heave a little bit. It just is so expensive, right? And all the little things, they add up. It's like cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Like a rap song. I mean, it just call me Chingy. And if you are not returning those things that you do not like along the way, you're just doing yourself a disservice and you're actually stopping the design process because you're like, oh, this sofa is $1,500. This sofa is $2,000. I don't have it. Well, you probably do have it somewhere. It might be those 20 vases that you bought at Home Goods but didn't feel like returning because each one was only $5 or $2 or $3. That money adds up. You need to return the things that you are not using, trust and believe. A lot of people have this bad habit, but the next bad design habit you probably have is that you overprotect your furniture. You overprotect your furniture. Now, furniture is expensive, art is expensive, rugs are expensive, everything is expensive these days. I should probably just stop saying things are expensive because it's just the way that things are. Now, of course, people aren't covering their sofas in plastic like they used to. A round of applause for that, because I hated that. It was too slippery. I'd like fall off the sofa. I didn't like that. It was too scary for me. But now people are covering their sofas with blankets, right? You'll get all these throw blankets and you'll cover the entire sofa with the blankets. And I'm like, well, where's the sofa? I can't see the sofa anymore. I can't experience it. Same thing with dining chairs. People will buy these beautiful dining chairs and then they'll put the cushions over them, or they'll put, who decided this? Everyone's putting faux sheep skin rugs on their dining tables. I mean, on their dining chairs. And I'm like, but why can't I just sit in the chair? It says this is for like cushion's sake, thank you. But you have these beautiful chairs, let me experience them. We're overprotecting our furniture. It is your home. These things are in your home and you're meant to enjoy them. If you get a little bit of pizza on your dining chair, that is okay. You can lick it up. Not you, your dog can lick it up. What am I even talking about? Please don't lick your dining chairs to clean them. I guess you can, but maybe don't tell people about it. But there's so many ways to clean your upholstery. The Bissell Little Green Pro Heat, the Folex, soap and water, a toothbrush. There's so many ways to clean upholstery, but you have to remember that home is for living. Are you really going to remember the stain, or are you going to remember the fantastic time you have with your family while you're eating that pizza? You're gonna remember the latter. We do not need to overprotect our stuff. There are just so many ways to reverse mistakes, right? Now, that being said, I'm not saying buy a leather sofa if you have a cat that likes to turn everything into a scratcher. That's stupid. Please don't do that. But you should give yourself a little bit more flexibility when it comes to designing. Something I hear all the time is with kids, I can't have any light colored furniture. No, I don't think you should have the brightest, whitest sofa in the world, but you can still have beige and light gray or light blue or colors that you enjoy. You don't have to resolve to have, black leather dark sofa just because you have kids. You can enjoy your space and decorate around them, whether them be your spouse or your kids or your pets, and just keep in mind that you have to clean it sometimes. That is okay. Your next design bad habit is that you feel that you need to paint every place in your home the exact same color. Now, when we have open concepts, this inclination makes sense, but a lot of people don't have open concepts. And even if you do, your entire space, it does not need to be the same color. What I will say is that you can paint different parts of your home at different colors. Your bedroom doesn't have to be the same color as your living room. I'll link a video right here that I actually just did on how your space could actually be making you sad or depressed or like moody. And there are actually different ways you should paint the different parts of your home based on your mood. You should also paint your home different colors based upon like what you're doing in that space. You know, if you are in a space that is your creative space, maybe it's your office or your studio, you might want it to be a little bit more colorful, a little bit more vibrant than other parts of your home. Don't feel like you need to paint your entire home all one white or all one brown or all one purple. You can experiment with color, and it can be even different variations of the same white. I'm one of those people. I love white paint, but my home is actually painted different variations of white. So does it look the same to everyone else? Yes, but to me, the person who lives here, it looks different. And I'm like, oh wow, this is a totally different space, when in fact, it is just a different variation of white. Don't be afraid to paint different colors. I know people are like, what about resale value? Okay, if they have a problem, they can paint it themselves, or like when it comes time to move, you can repaint it all the same color. Just save the information of that paint somewhere, in your notes app on your phone, and then you'll find it when the time comes. Painting your space different colors creates so much more visual interest, and it actually helps you feel differently in each space. Something I like to think about is when I'm in the living room, I like for there to feel like there's a transition into the bedroom. When I go to the bedroom too early, I feel like, I'm still wired. I'm still like thinking about work. I can't go to sleep, right? Something that helps with that is paint color. So out here, it's really white, it's airy, all of that. It's very conducive to creativity and learning and conversing, but then our bedroom is nice and dark. It's a very different color. It really lulls me to sleep, right? It's like, okay, I'm in my cave now, time to go to bed, hibernation time. So that is actually what we're going for. So don't be afraid to paint your house different colors in different spaces. Now, I've said this once and I'll say it again, please stop sticking to small stuff. Not everything needs to be small. Bigger is better. Bigger is better when it comes to home decor, in my opinion. People are really into small artwork, small mirrors, small this, small that. My thought is, if I have to use a magnifying glass to see your home decor, I think that there is a problem. Now, if I can't see it with my normal glasses on, maybe I need to go to my ophthalmologist and get a new glasses prescription. But if I need a magnifying glass, if I need to rent the Hubble, I don't think you can rent the Hubble if you're a normal person. But if I need to rent the Hubble, if I need to make an appointment, your decor is too small. If something you buy is too big, it's scaled incorrectly, then just take it back to the store. that's what you should be doing if it's too small too. But smaller isn't better. Smaller actually helps your space look so much more cluttered, and that's not a good thing. I think also when we have things too small, it just cheapens the space. Even if the art was really expensive, it looks cheaper because cheaper art is normally a lot smaller. Again, it doesn't really matter to me if your house looks cheap. I love cheap stuff. Cheap is good to me. But if you don't want your house to look cheap, that is something to keep in mind. You want to keep scale into consideration. Now, in our spaces, we should have art scaled correctly. I want to see the art. I want to experience the art. It is contributing to the space, not taking away the space. We want our art and our decor to look like art and decor, not like specks of dust in our home. Another bad habit you may have is that you will shove chairs into corners. When a lot of people have corners, they have no idea what to do with them. If you don't have a quarter sectional or something like that, people are like, this corner is it. This corner is going to be the end to me. You get design paralysis when there's an empty corner. I don't know what it is about them. We just find corners to be so daunting. The solution to an empty corner is not to share a chair in it. If no one ever is going to sit in that corner, if you are too wide to fit in that corner because it's a small corner, don't put a chair there. It's okay to have dead space. People need to be okay with dead space in interior design, and there are tons of other ways to fill corners. You can use plants, you can use lights, you can use artwork, you can use nothing. Let's repeat that last one. You can use nothing. Dead space is critical to beautiful interior design. You cannot have every inch of wall cover unless you're a maximalist. Excuse me, unless you're a maximalist. If you're a maximalist, this does not apply to you, but you cannot have every inch of your wall covered. One, it's expensive. Two, it's impractical. And three, you do not know where to look. It's very hard to focus if there is no focal point, if there's no empty space, if there's no dead space. That is the term for it. I promise you, if someone wants to argue with you, send them my email address, send them my phone number, send a pigeon to them with my information, and I will let them know that they're wrong. It is okay to have dead space. It is so valuable. Those are some bad interior design habits that you may have, that I have too. These are all habits that we need to break, and once you break these habits, I promise you your home is going to look so much more elevated, so much more sophisticated. Let me know down in the comments what interior design and bad habits you have, and how have you broken them? Are you still struggling with some of the ones I talked about in today's video? Let me know in the comments, and if you like today's video, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and until next time, have a beautiful day.